Bienvenidos a otra edición de Clásicos de la Lucha Libre Boricua. El acróbata de Puerto Rico, Colón y Abdullah de Buchel. Tratar de resumir más de 30 años de una riña prácticamente que ha recorrido el mundo entero es difícil en pocos minutos. Ellos han luchado en todo Puerto Rico llenando estadios como el Estadio Gran Bison en San Juan, coliseos como el Pachín Vicente de Ponce con sus encuentros sangrientos de principio a fin. Grandes rivales que hoy son leyendas del deporte de las mil emociones. Pero, ¿se imaginan a Carlitos Colón de rudo? Pues sí, eso pasó en Japón cuando hizo pareja con el carnicero. Veamos uno de esos clásicos que nos brindaron estas dos leyendas del deporte de las mil emociones.
Oh, finally. Okay, now this I agree with. Now Chiqui Star, it's the manager right here of Abdullah the Butcher. Now, if you talk about the things that I did, what about the things that Chiqui Star has done? Can you understand that a professional of a manager is to make the contract, get the right money, and sometimes you have to put away your own feelings because professional wrestling comes in first. If you love this sport, you're going to do your best for your man to get the best contracts and forget about some feelings sometimes.
Well, you know, Hugo, I'm not going to disagree with you a whole lot on that particular statement because a lot of what you say is true. You know, being in the world of professional wrestling, money's the bottom line, and I can't really complain about you as far as that goes. But still, you have the leadership, or you were the one that originally brought the man in.
Does this mean that under the mask, you are a professional wrestler?
Well, I didn't say that. I just said in the world of professional wrestling, money's the name of the game. It's just like any other profession or business. You go out there to make as much money as possible. We'll try to put words in my mouth.
Okay, here we're going to take a look at another outstanding battle between Colón and Abdullah the Butcher. Mind you that now at this time it's Chiqui Star the manager. It's not myself anymore. But look at how savage he is. He's got that 2x4 in his hand, and it's not me there. Right over Carlos. Can you understand this is hate? This has nothing to do with he manages him or not. He loves to hurt people.
Well, this is a showcase example of Abdullah the Butcher at his most sadistic best or worst, however you want to look at it. He comes to the ring armed. It just so happened this time it's a 2x4. The man will use anything that he can get his hands on that he think will do damage and use it.
Okay, now 1 second now. Now, could you understand right there what's happening also too? Now, Eddie Grice, our producer, he was taking pictures right there. He was taking pictures right there. Right there.
Well, you know, I can't explain that. Maybe Eddie felt brave enough to try to get close to Abdullah and Carlos in this big rivalry. But the fact of the matter is, Abdullah the Butcher is using a 2x4. I mean, when you talk about wrestling, Hugo, you're talking about holds and counter moves and suplexes and slams. We're not talking about 2x4s and forks and things like that. There's no justification in that, and that's what this tape's all about. Something's got to be done about it.
Look at this gigantic battle, two rivals, a lot of countries involved in this rivalry: Japan, Canada, Puerto Rico, the Republic of Trinidad in this particular match here in Caguas. And once again, you see the way he just hits all over Carlos. No respect whatsoever for Carlos. Look at this. He took Eddie Grice's camera. Eddie Grice's camera. Now, why don't we blame Eddie for this?
Well, Eddie can't be blamed for that. How did he know that Abdullah was going to come over there and pick up his camera and bang Carlos in the head with it?
Well, why couldn't he take it away from him?
Well,
are we talking about being afraid here?
Oh, yes, you're talking about being afraid.
Hey, let's say I was afraid back then, too.
Okay, maybe you were afraid, but the fact of the matter is
that he's using the camera all over Carlos Colón. It's Eddie Grice's camera, and I don't see him trying to come in and take the camera away. Now, let's concentrate on the fact that Abdullah has no respect for no one. And here is Abdullah the Butcher, more blood on the face, on the forehead of Carlos Colón. Carlos Colón coming down the staircase in the tunnel of Caguas. Bloody mess, courtesy of the camera of Eddie Grice. Not even the referee. No one could stop him. Carlos Colón been hurt bad by Abdullah the Butcher, and it's not over. And Chiqui Star is also waving. He's saying, hurt him more.
Well, you've been in that position too. Wave him, hurt him more. The fact of the matter is, I keep trying to reiterate that he'll use anything he can get his hands on to cause damage. He used a camera that didn't meant to be left there, but it was left there.
Look at it. Now, what about Carlos?
Colón picks
a
up
garbage can?
Hey, why not? He used a camera on him.
What I'm trying to say here, Mr. X, is if Carlos, being a gentleman, could also turn an animalistic wrestler, maybe we are hitting the point here that once a rivalry goes to these extremes, things change a lot.
Oh yeah, you're talking about survival.
Gorras, t-shirts, máscaras, llaveros, medias, fotos, en fin, de todo para el fanático y el coleccionista de la lucha libre.
De todo para el fanático de la lucha libre. Búscanos en todas las redes sociales. Bendita Lucha Libre Shop. De todo para el fanático de la lucha libre.
Any athlete knows that when the rivalry that you're up against is the most fearful in your life, and your life could be on the line every time you step in the squared circle, sure there's a lot of fear there. Sure it's going to turn you into an animalistic person.
Abdullah the Butcher, one thing we have to get straight here is the fact that Abdullah the Butcher, it's one of the wildest wrestlers, and he is mean, and he hates Carlos. A lot of injuries involved, and one of these days, it's going to be something very depressing happen.
Well, now he's pulled out his good old fork, Hugo, so now he's going to cause even more damage. Look at it there. It's obvious to see. I don't know what the referee's doing, but it looks like El Vikingo, and that explains everything. But still, the fact of the matter is, this man has got to be stopped. I mean, something's got to be done about it. How many people are you willing to let him hurt?
No, I have nothing to do with this. I'm just a host. I'm in charge of the production of some of the Spanish programs. And here I have nothing to do with wrestling. Nobody's forcing Abdullah to go into the ring to fight Carlos. Nobody's forcing Carlos to go back in the ring. You have to understand that his prestige is the pride of being the #1 in the World Wrestling Council. And Abdullah has always wanted to show the world that he's better than Carlos. And blood has never stopped them. They don't care about stitches. They don't care about injuries. They just go out there and they go for battles, wild battles. And you see that? You think Carlos was afraid of Abdullah the Butcher? He would have never been in the ring back after all the things that has happened. And the referee's right there. And I don't see him being aggressive either.
Well, the referee's El Vikingo, and as far as I'm concerned, like I said before, it's self-explanatory. But what we're talking about here is Carlos Colón. He's a man that's got a lot of pride. We all got a lot of pride. If you go out and you fight a battle and you lose, you go home, you get well up, wounded up, get all your wounds healed, you go back out and you do it again. And that's what's going on here. Carlos knows what he's up against when he gets in the ring with Abdullah.
Oh, look at that.
But, you know, look at him pounding that fork in his forehead. Again, no compassion for human suffering. I mean, human.
I agree with you.
Nothing.
I agree with you. That is Abdullah. And that's, I think a professional wrestler should know before he signs a contract, if he sees the name of Abdullah the Butcher there, he's got to be either brave, talented, or be very stupid, because he's not there to wrestle. He's there to hurt you with a fork, with a chair, with a piece of wood, with anything. Look at the blood on Carlos.
Well, you know, like I said, you forgot to put camera in there because he used those two to inflict damage on Carlos. But like I said, Hugo, I'm not putting all the blame on you for what Abdullah's doing right here. The fact of the matter is,
I have to say that I am not proud of the fact that I was his manager. But you do have to understand that people have to survive. You choose a trade. You have to do better what you do. And sometimes you have to do things to survive when you love what has been your life. In my case, professional wrestling.
well, I'm not out here to judge you either. You took that wrong. I was just merely thought you were
You are making me feel guilty here, and it's bothering me.
Well, you should feel guilty. Look what this man's doing. Once again, Carlos.
This time it was Chicky Star, the manager, and he had already used Eddie Grice's camera. So I have nothing to do with it. I'm just judging here the style. Now that's a low blow kick here by Carlos on Abdullah the Butcher. A lot of the scientific wrestling goes out of the window of Carlos. Now look at Carlos. Carlos Colón biting on Abdullah. No mercy. I mean, his teeth all the way on his forehead.
Well, I tell you, you act like you're complaining about it. Maybe I'm taking it wrong. The fact of the matter is, Carlos is surviving. We've been talking about that. When you go in the ring against an animal, you got to fight like an animal, because if you don't, you won't survive and you won't come out without any injuries. And now it looks like there's Chicky Star getting into the ring, and Carlos is going to do a little bit of him, what he can do.
Wait a minute. Abdullah the Butcher, he's got something in his hand. Might be a substance. I know his style. Okay, all over Carlos Colón. Immediate disqualification. Carlos in trouble. Now he got the manager. He did hit Chicky Star, but it cost him a lot, because not only it's bad for his eyes, but now he's at the mercy of Abdullah the Butcher. Butcher, who's all over Carlos Colón. Now, this could be the beginning to the end of Carlos' career because he can't see at this time.
Well, you know, you're right. He can't see. So what's going to happen? Abdullah knows he can't see. Carlos is bleeding. Abdullah's bleeding. And what it does is it puts Carlos at a disadvantage. And Abdullah...
Here comes some of the other wrestlers, one of the young bloods. Everybody ganging up on him. Okay, what a tremendous battle. People again separating Abdullah and Carlos Colón.
Recuerda suscribirte, darle like a los videos y a la campanita para que recibas todas las notificaciones. Será hasta la próxima semana con otro gran encuentro aquí en Clásicos de la Lucha Libre Boricua.